Real problem of our country right now is the breakdown of the effectiveness of democracy.
Could you say more about that?
I want to preface it with something. I'm a practical guy. I'm not an academic, and but I've studied history. The first time that about the 1971 breakdown of the monetary system, I was clerking on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, and I thought when Nixon made that announcement that that was going to cause a crisis. I went on the floor of the stock exchange, and I saw the stock market up more than it was in decades, and that led me to study the prior devaluations. I never saw one of those before. And I learned that in March 1933, Roosevelt made the same move. And I understood more of the mechanics of all of this. And that also led me to understand how the debt problem existed that allowed me to anticipate the 2008 financial crisis and the 2010 to 15 European financial crisis and do very well during that period. I would say that there are five main forces that interact to drive everything. We're talking about the debt mechanics. There is also a political mechanics that enters into this. The battle between the left and the right. And when you get into a situation where there are irreconcilable differences, then the system classically creates a type of great internal conflict in which the system itself is in jeopardy. Okay. Democracy, one of the big problems of democracy is people vote for what they want, and you can't maybe necessarily do what's best for them sometimes. And we are now at a stage where we have irreconcilable differences. And so, how our system is working and the moves that we're seeing politically to get control, to get control, remind me very much of the 1930s, as does this debt situation. The third, as I said, there are five. The third great force that has a big effect is the international geopolitical world order. The way it works is who's in control of the order, the system, the world system. It's always the powerful country. So in 1945, the winners of the war set the rules. And the United States was the dominant power, had 80% of the world's money, gold, half the world's. Anyway, it set the rules. Then what happens is rising powers challenge the existing powers, and there's no world court that resolves these things. And so you have a great conflict. And that requires military spending. That requires these actions. So we are, as you can see, as you watch in Beijing, Xi and Putin and Modi and the military parade. Okay, this is all part of the picture, and so it enters into even the economic policy. Tariffs, one of the purposes of tariffs is to get independence, because you need self-sufficiency in a world where you may be cut off, or we might be cutting others off in certain type of war, and that's financial. So that's the third influence.